Hi, guys. Today we're talking about how my wife hates Star Wars. And that's her hook. All right. So, as we talked about in our last podcast, my wife knows that I love Star Wars so much that when we were planning our honeymoon, she had always wanted to go to Hawaii. And I had always wanted to go to Disney World to see the Star Wars stuff there. Okay. So we made it happen. And in
Hawaii or the Star Wars?
For me, the Star Wars, I mean, I wanted to go to Hawaii too. Don't get me wrong. I love going to Paradise. We went to a couple of different island hops. Okay. But she had always known that I wanted to go see there. And she took enough time to research that May the 4th is the most important day in Star Wars history. Because that's the day it was released, and is May the 4th be with you. So the day after her birthday, because we were married, and then her birthday was just a few days later.
Her birthday is on
May
the 3rd? Mm-hmm. Do you know when my daughter's birthday is?
When?
May the 4th.
4th?
She's a Star Wars baby.
Star Wars baby. But that's pretty cool. But my wife researched the day and made sure that the first day at Disney World, we went to the Star Wars place on May the 4th. And I didn't realize it. And I walk up, I hand her my ticket, and the lady goes, "Oh, wonderful, you're here. May the 4th be with you." Mm-hmm. And I turned to my wife, and I said, "You are the perfect person." And she goes, "I don't even know what Star Wars is, but I love you."
And this was the last day in your marriage where you didn't fight about something stupid that you said.
No, we still got into a fight that day. But it's
so
don't worry about it.
My statement is still true.
And it was amazing. It was actually raining that day, and there was no one there but us. So all of the Star Wars characters came out and interacted just with us. Wow. Darth Vader walked up to us because no one was there. I mean, we were looking around, and it was like there was no one there.
Really?
It's just because of the rain. And there was some lightning and stuff, and they didn't really close the park, but people did want to show up. And everything we went into, we were like one of just a few people in line. Because technically it was still the off season.
Okay.
And the weather was bad.
Did you make a lightsaber?
I did. Absolutely.
Did you keep it?
I kept it, brought it back.
It must be expensive.
It was not cheap, let me tell you. For what it is, yes. But she's like, "You're only going to do this once."
Little did she know.
Little did she know. We're going back, baby.
Mr. Copy and Paste.
Yeah. And so it was really cool. And then we took her to Hawaii, and I took her to every island that she ever said she ever wanted to go to.
Okay.
And it was great bus tours.
So your wife doesn't like Star Wars?
She does not like
Star Wars. Is it that she doesn't like it, or she's not seen it?
She has started to watch some of them, and the first words out of her mouth were, "This is stupid."
Okay. You told me the story.
So
because
you
started her with episode
1, 2, and 3 instead of 4, 5, 6. All right, because I was like, we're going to give them to her in chronological order so she understands what's going on.
No,
because that made the most sense.
It
made the most sense.
It only makes sense if you don't think about things, which is a common theme for you.
That is not entirely true.
You have no emotional attachment to any of the characters in episode 1.
They're like wooden dolls.
Unless you have seen episode
4, 5, and 6.
If you see episode 4, right, you will gain, unless you're an insane person, you will gain some sort of emotional attachment to Luke and Han and Leia and Chewie. You will.
Yes, and
because
R2-D2.
They win at the end.
She loved R2.
Okay. And right, so fine, you'll be emotionally attached a little bit because you will see them win. Right? They win.
They do, they win.
If you watch the greatest movie in the entire series, the
Empire
next
Strikes
one,
Back.
Empire Strikes Back, right? You will then have an emotional connection. You'll be confused, but you will have an emotional connection to Darth Vader.
Because you'll know why.
Right? And you will have that much more of a connection to the characters because they lose.
Yes.
Right? That gives context to why you should care about Obi-Wan in the first one. Why you are introduced to a little rugrat named Anakin. Because why would you care about a little kid unless you knew he grew up to be Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so I gave her Jar Jar Binks to start. And
her natural reaction is going to be,
"This is the worst movie I've ever seen."
Oh,
and she's like, "Is that Natalie Portman?"
It is Natalie Portman.
She's awful.
She doesn't like Natalie Portman?
She didn't like her in that movie because she was like a wooden doll.
Well, when
So
you're
she's
given dialogue that she's
Right.
given,
Yes, Chancellor. I will not. I mean,
is her body her double in that movie is Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley. Yep, absolutely. And my wife didn't recognize that, and she goes, "This is just probably the worst movie I've ever seen."
See, you messed it all up.
And I was like,
You totally messed it all up.
"How is this any different than any other day that we've talked about stuff?"
This is but there are some things that are important, and there are some things that are not. You know, like you hitting copy and paste on your vacation,
That was okay,
not important, right?
we'll get
Because
over
that's
it.
just a normal
right?
thing
It was
that
a
your
good
wife's just
choice.
going to use as a gotcha moment anyways, because you could see it as you were leading up to it. This was vitally important, and you blew it. It's sort of like you
This one's bugging me the most.
you were the Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy
Don't you ever put
to
me
your
in there.
wife about Star Wars. Like you ruined it for her. Just like Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger ruined Star Wars. Ruined it. Ruined it. I was having a conversation the other day with somebody with Evan
Mhm.
about
From
Star
Permission
Wars.
to Game.
And he was telling me that in his top 3 favorite Star Wars movies, The Phantom Menace is in his top 3.
The Phantom Menace.
Now, he was saying that because he was little when it came out,
Yes.
right? And so it was cool because he was little,
Mhm.
which makes sense.
Yes.
Because
That's
there's a
the
lot of
reason
neat
I love
things
Star
that
Wars.
happen.
Luke Skywalker. And
But
his
I
laser
was
sword.
little when the other ones,
Yes, me too.
right? So we had a conversation about whether or not. About Phantom Menace, right? And then we had a conversation about the other movies, right, in total.
Mhm.
And then we went through the exercise of ranking them, just
Oh,
to
dear
see
God.
where we agreed.
Lined up on how. Yes.
And we didn't really agree on a whole lot, except the new trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
the woke trilogy, is garbage.
Wow. I didn't mind The Last Jedi.
I can't even be in the same room with you.
It was not bad.
It is the worst movie
I still
ever.
haven't seen The Rise of Skywalker.
And The Rise of Skywalker can't be good. It's awful. It's terrible. And it's awful because The Last Jedi is so bad. No.
How is it bad?
You do not take Luke Skywalker and have him milk a sea cow and drink it.
That was a little weird.
No. Don't.
But that's Star Wars for you.
Absolutely. It is absolutely not.
Yes, it is.
The whole
I mean,
entire
the weird
casino
food, the blue
scene.
milk.
The whole entire casino scene is woke garbage.
It just tells you where
It's
all of the money in the
terrible.
Empire goes.
It's awful. It's not it's
no.
not a good movie. Nothing about it is a good movie.
Man.
Nothing. They're terrible. And The Rise of Skywalker manages in a single movie. By the way, they don't exist. The new trilogy, it just doesn't even exist.
Throw it out. It's gone.
It manages to unwind the first 6 movies, including it unwinds Rogue One, and it unwinds Solo, which is garbage as well, right? It unwinds all
Never
of
saw
them.
that one either.
It's so bad. If you're going to tell a story, tell a story. Have a reason, have a purpose for telling the story.
Why would Disney do such a thing then?
Because they're terrible. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. I've had this conversation with the twins, which is why they will not let me. It's one of the reasons why they will not let me on their show when
Yes.
they talk about Star Wars. Because they actually like them. And they cosplay as Rey.
Yes. He's a
And-
great character.
And
I like Rey. But you learn later that her lineage is kind of weird. Which I didn't know until the twins told me what happened.
okay,
And I was like, man, these aren't bad movies.
when you tell
Don't you love the
when you
progressivism?
tell a story and the protagonist in your story cannot fail, it's not a real story. When are you ever nervous for her? Ever?
She never loses.
She doesn't lose. She has no arc. She has no flaws. She's perfect. She can fight anything. She can just do it. She can fly anything. She can do anything. Better than anybody ever. In a real story, characters that you care about
Grow.
have flaws.
And they grow.
And they grow.
And they change.
And they fail. And then they get back up. Be like Rocky. They get back up. And then they win. And when they win, you're like, yes, they won. When she wins, you're like, whoa,
kinda
this
saw that
is my
coming.
shocked face.
Yeah.
She won. Oh, she just, for the first time ever, picks up a lightsaber and beats a highly trained Sith
Lord
guy.
without even a.
Okay, because that's legit. No, they're not good movies.
Strong with the Force. Use your anger.
Crap.
You're a Sith.
Garbage.
You use your anger.
Complete garbage.
It's amazing to watch you get passionate on this. So I started her with one. And
My wife loves Star Wars, by the way. Loves it.
Well,
Loves it.
Ours did not
and
work
my
out this
daughter
way.
is a Star Wars baby. So when I go home, this is what will happen when I go home. My daughter will ask me if she can watch Rebels. She's watching
you've done something
Star
right.
Wars Rebels.
Good man. Good show.
She has a picture.
Mm-hmm.
She in her room. I won in an auction a signed New Hope poster, signed by the cast.
Really?
It's in her room.
Oh wow, that's a good piece of memorabilia right
legit.
there. Hell yeah.
She walks around with her lightsabers. For her first Halloween,
Yes.
she was Leia.
Leia? Everybody
Oh,
wants to be
dressed her-
Rey these days.
Dressed her. Ain't happening in my house. No. Leia's a way better character. She's a way better character.
She's a Skywalker.
She gets in trouble.
She fails.
She fails.
She
And
grows.
she wins.
She comes back.
And she's a badass.
She's trained as a Jedi.
Whatever.
She did.
That's after. Not
It's
during
after.
the movies, she's not. But during the movies, she does amazing things. She's like an actual powerful person.
Rebel. She's a rebel.
She actually, does things as opposed to just being handed all of her gifts.
I love Star
and
Wars.
flawless.
I love Star Wars.
Me too.
When I was a kid, that's all we ever played on the playground.
that's
Everybody would
all-
argue. Everybody wanted to argue being Han Solo. They always wanted to be Han Solo.
Well, can you
instead of
blame him?
Luke. No.
Han
'cause-
Solo gets the
yeah,
girl.
and he
Luke
gets
has
the-
to be
he
a
has-
monk.
God, I know. I mean, that's got to be a boring lifestyle there. Did you read any of the books?
Of course.
I had the whole New Jedi Order,
Of course.
the Yusong Vong.
I
Great set of
see.
books.
The interesting thing is, I think it was sometime after my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
So, I think sometime after my 30th birthday. So 31, 32. I have no idea. Right. But around that time was the first birthday I could remember where somebody didn't buy me something that had to do with Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Solid.
Because we stopped doing the gifts. We got older.
Yeah.
Right.
Did
But
that.
while we were still doing the gifts, like they'd buy me a book with all the ships or something, right? Like a layout
I collected
of
the
all
Legos.
the buildings.
People kept giving
the
me
Legos.
I got tons of
Micro
Legos.
Machines.
Oh, that's right. The action figures. I still have some of the old school action figures. My buddy had the Millennium Falcon.
That thing was
It was
big.
enormous.
It was
It was
big.
the coolest thing. I remember running through the yard with it over his
expensive.
head, flying it around.
Mhm.
And then my character would have to sit inside there, and I'm like, "But how am I playing?"
Yep. We had the Walker, the AT-AT Walker,
Oh,
the remote
yes.
control one.
I've got the Lego AT-AT, and if you haven't put that,
I haven't put that together. My nephew put together. He was really into Legos for a while, so we
Yeah.
would buy him, and he built all the stuff. I don't know if he ever finished the Death Star, but that thing
one
was.
is legit. It is
thing was good.
big.
So when I tolerated the Force Awakens
Yes.
because it was like, okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was
right?
excited for it.
I liked Rogue One because it was dark.
Yeah, that was actually.
I love when
Rogue
Vader
One was
comes in
good.
at the end and just wrecks the entire.
Yes,
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
I've enjoyed the Mandalorian.
And then the Mandalorian is good.
it's really good.
It's
It's
good.
really good.
I did see a meme about the Mandalorian. It was like it's just the
Pedro Escobar.
no, it's the guy. He in a video game. It's
Yeah.
the Mandalorian is the guy that can't stop doing the side quests.
I thought it was the one where it said Pedro's back was hurt during the Star Wars shooting because he's carrying the whole universe on his back,
I saw that one.
and that one was kind of true.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I just no.
yeah, I started her off on the wrong one. I realized
started
that
her off
now
on the wrong
because
one.
Jar Jar Binks ruins it for everybody. Thank you.
You don't have an emotional connection to Obi-Wan, and if you haven't seen him and his connection to Luke,
Luke
in the
and then
original
Darth Vader, and
so
then
there's
finding
no
Anakin.
reason to care what they're doing.
It's just a space.
It's just this
opera
weird
at that
story
point.
that doesn't mean anything, and you don't know who this kid is and why you should care.
Well, I've made another mistake.
And this is my shocked face. I will talk to you about Star Wars till
There's nothing left
till
to
there's
talk about.
till there's no time till we're out of quarantine. If you wanted to,
Well, he'll be on tomorrow's OC and Now.
I
don't
will
know.
not. I will not. They won't put me on that. I was on the other day.
Yeah.
I said hi to Nick. He hasn't said hi since.
We miss you, Nick. Guys, this has been another episode of My Wife Hates This.
My wife does not hate Star Wars.
No, my wife does, though. And my wife hates that very much because of me.
And my daughter's a Star Wars baby.
I have lightsabers at my desk. But guys, remember to ring our bell, subscribe to what we do, follow all of the action that we have, which is our channel. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts on YouTube, like Double Feature, Permission to Game, OK Boomer, OC and Drives. Those guys need to get off their tails and hurry and get back. But we have plenty of other podcasts for you guys to listen to. And also check out ourcommunitynow.com. We carry the stories and the relevant stuff from your communities and what goes on in your neighborhoods on that website. So if you ever want to know what's going on, check it out. I'm Josh.
I'm Yoda.
And this is My Wife Hate This. We'll see you guys next time. Master you are.